What's going on there, Twitch world? We're back at it again. Before we get into a little bit of gaming today, I wanted to go ahead and just kind of make a video, and then we'll get this posted up on YouTube. But I've been sleeping on some things, I guess, really the last day or two, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to, I guess, get this video to come across, but I'm gonna put it out there. Whenever I make content, whenever I go online, whenever I go live, I think for the most part, most people who know me closely know that I'm not in it for fame. I'm not in it for views. I'm not in it for follows. I'm not in it for donations, regardless of what other crap other people may have put out there on the internet. This is just a genuine hobby for me. I enjoy playing games, goofing off while playing games, giving feedback to games, whether it be a shitty Blizzard or Activision games or smaller company games. And I am into progression based content, putting time and effort in to improve yourself and to be better at something. And I know a lot of you probably recently have popped in and seen that I started to kind of make a little bit of different content. And one thing I can honestly say is this recent content just genuinely does not feel good. Doesn't feel good to make and produce content where the sole focus or the sole effort is to bring somebody else down. And I think people who make that kind of content should genuinely reflect on why they're making that content in the first place. And I think it says a lot about them as a human being as a whole. You could chop this up. You can mince it any way you want and edit this into whatever it is that you see fit. But for some of us out there in the world who do not go out of their way to make streaming a career, some of the things that you lie about on other people could have real world consequences. And personally, I'm not interested in discovering or figuring out what those real world consequences are. You want to say somebody sucks at a video game, or somebody is bad at a video game, or is being a poor sport at a video game, that's totally fine. But when people start to lie and exaggerate and make what I would consider genuine, like you mean it, personal attacks, that's not okay. And I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of this culture of negativity, of toxicity. And my goal, like I said before, was to gain nothing from this. Personally in my head, as somebody who streams to quote 1 or 2 viewers a day, I had very little to lose. You can't really cancel somebody that doesn't have something to be canceled. But as I move forward here in my career personally, and there's certain things that I'm going to have to submit for related to security clearance. And I really don't want to have to sit around explaining a whole lot, right? It should be as simple as, hey, man, we noticed you had some profiles online and you'd like to play video games. And the answer is yes. I love playing video games. I get off work and I probably spend 8 or 9 hours playing video games and streaming content. And I really want that to be the end of that discussion. I don't want to go into a back and forth and be offered to have to explain XYZ video or XYZ action. So, let's just address the elephant in the room. 10 IQ, man, you do you. All right. If this kind of content, making this kind of stuff makes you feel good as a human being, more power to you. If this makes your fans, your followers feel great as human beings, more power to you. I want to make a couple things clear before I do wrap it up, man. I never once, ever, in any way, shape, or form condoned the severe activities that went your direction, such as death threats, for example. And the other thing is I stood on my sword and I did apologize to you for calling you some names. I figured, obviously, being the type of people we are who play video games and we participate in a little bit of troll activity, that you wouldn't take it as personally as you did. And I could see you did take it personal. And I apologize for that. Other than that, I think that pretty much sums up where I'm at and how I feel about this whole thing. So I'm gonna pull out of this crap, man. It doesn't feel good. Like I said, I don't find joy in making content in effort to bring others down. I don't find joy in effort in making content that is, in my opinion, in effort to cancel somebody or to make them look bad. And I think one of the constant messages that you hear, which certainly isn't the intention, and it's that I'm making content in order to, quote, make myself look better than somebody else. And that's never, ever been the case. The goal of that content was to just actually highlight a couple things that I personally didn't agree with, and see if I could get some genuine, solid answers as to why some of those things are being done, i.e., why is feedback, because that's one of the main things that I love to stream for, not being allowed in and not letting other people have an honest opinion. And that's something that I always would personally want to have as a part of the content that I make. I think people should have an opinion. That's what makes the world go round. And I'm a huge advocate of just like saying what you feel and not having that censored. And I can just personally admit that not being able to have that opportunity, it can be a little bit frustrating, maybe even potentially a little bit triggering. And I want people to be able to say whatever it is that they want. I think one of the things that's really, really important is what people who manipulate things do is, if you think it's abuse, so be it. And I'll tell you what, I don't want to be someone who participates in abusive behaviors or abusive activities. So that's something that I'm just going to pull out from. I got better things to do. I'm going to continue doing what I love to do. And that's making content that's feedback driven, funny, goofing around, maybe trolly, but not to people there personally or directly. So, I know some folks this week probably followed me. You were maybe excited or pumped to see that me and another individual were kind of having this weird back and forth throughout our content. But it wasn't really the goal. I'll be honest with you, there really wasn't any end goal in this. And part of it was just me kind of retaliating to the fact that somebody was making videos that, in my opinion, did not do a good job at reflecting what my intentions were or who I am as a person. And if they want to continue to go ahead and, create content on my behalf in such a way, more power to them. And I wish you the best luck in your endeavors. Me, I'm going to go back to doing what I do. I don't care if it's 1 view, 5 view, 10 views. I'm going to play some games, focus on self-improvement, focus on self-growth, and not cancel people, not bring people down. That's not what content creation is about. And I think for the most part, that pretty much sums up my feelings on the whole thing entirely. I'm going to do a little bit of a stream reboot, get some games going for the rest of the day. And as always, folks, peace, love, and happiness. I hope y'all have a great week.